Hello RC fans, Racing393 again here for another video about my TT01e. I know a lot of people are probably thinking, here he is again, but you know, the fact is, yes, there are many other kits around, yeah, I get that. Yes, this is old in the tooth, and yes, it's not the best of chassis in its standard form, you know, with friction shock absorbers, plastic parts, loose fitting suspension. But the thing is that these are sort of the 1/10 on and off-road chassis with where you can get an up-teen amount of scale 1/10 bodies. On top of that, there is so many upgrades. You can take this as far as you want. And again, you could be spending twice, 3 or 4 times what the kit actually costs you to upgrade it in the long run. I get it. You can go out and buy a much higher quality Tamiya 1/10 scale on-road chassis, for example, and you'll probably be a little bit ahead of the game. But you've got to pay all that in one go. You know, £400, £500, £600. You know, it's a lot of money, and I'm not denying the fact that I've probably spent that over time. Possibly on this car. I get it, but this has taken me a long while to get here, and I'm just going over the upgrades to get to the car to where I think it can compete against those sort of more expensive chassis. But the fact is, this is it's old TT01e. I don't even think they make this anymore, do they? Superseded. Was it the E? No, it's TT01 and then the TT01e. I don't know what the E stood for now. Was it extra? I don't know. And then the TT02, and that still is a current chassis. Slightly, I would say, a slightly better finish, better quality, overall sort of finish quality of that chassis. But again, an absolute up-teen, unlimited more or less. Upgrades you can get. You can go the Tamiya route for upgrades, or you can go aftermarket, whichever. They're all good, much of muchness. Now, my last video, I sort of finished fitting the carbon rear shock tower. This car used to run an RS 200 rally shell, and I had that for quite a while, if I'm honest. I decided, well, it's time for a change. So we got rid of the shell, we sold that on, and if you can see before you, I'm not sure if you can make out what this one is, but you might be able to. It's a Ford, again, Cosworth Sierra Rally. So this is the Shell Oils 4-wheel drive Cosworth Sierra. Is it the Cosworth 4x4? So as you can see, I've only got to put a couple of holes in the bonnet and sort of the rear screen, cut the wheel arches out and trim the body up, and it will fit. The wheelbase on the TT01e is actually not far off. It's quite difficult to because that's got to go down. And I'm hoping it just goes straight down. I can fit this with the posts before I cut the wheels anyway, so it's not the end of the world if it doesn't quite go to where I want it. The back is sitting a bit low at the moment, just because I've got to get the front sorted out. So that's the first thing to do. There's a couple of additional items to put on the car. I've got a rear spoiler, which I'm not going to dig this over the back there. I've got some light buckets, which I'm not quite sure how to do them. I need to look at those. Wing mirrors, and I've got it here. I've got a small like rear exhaust, so we've got to fit that on the body somewhere, so it looks at least reasonably scale. So this is the Shell Oils liveried car. If I think of it, what I'll do now is I'll put a picture up.
So here it is. Incidentally, this is the picture off the website which I claimed was a rally car. It is a touring car. It's my mistake. and I thought it was a rally car. If it's a touring car, which it is, I believe it was rear-wheel drive, not four-wheel drive. I'm there thinking it was a rally car. The picture that was where I bought the model, or the body shell, I was convinced it was a rally spec picture, or if you like, when it was this picture. This was the picture that I remember seeing, but that is actually a racetrack. So it is a touring car, as the decals say.
Of the car, not the kit, but the real life version. And that's, I've got all the stickers for it. I've just got to get the paint. As you can see, it's red and yellow. You know, it's quite a bright, bold colour combination. I think what I might do, I think the yellow, I'm going to do the sort of the brightest, well, the closest to the shell yellow as I can get from Tamiya. But the red, I think the red, I might even do metallic. I'm going to think about, I don't know yet. I might just change the style of red, because it does cover most of the car. And I think metallic or something like that, metal flake or a slightly different shade of red, I don't know, but it is going to be as close to the shell colours as possible. And then what's next? Well, pretty much we're going to get it out for another run soon. I don't know about between this time of year and and whatever, because it is coming up to end of autumn and winter now in the UK. So yeah, I won't take it out when it's raining, but yeah, I'm going to show you the car anyway. That's a future video. We're going to cut the shell today and get it fitted, and I'll show you kind of each stage as I've sort of put the holes in the shell and trimmed it up a little bit. And we'll get it sat on the shell today with possibly the window masks in, so it's ready for painting, and I'll order the paint, and then we'll have that in another video going forward. Anyway, let me hack this shell about. Little update. So I've got the body post sort of drilled mount. It's not quite mounted because it's just where I've had to put this on. It's going to kind of press forward, but the posts that came with the kit, the shock absorber carbon fibre shock mount kit, the posts for this car, this Ford Sierra, are not long enough. So I've ordered some extension posts, very cheap. So yeah, I'm going to put those on in a minute, but put those on when I get them, not in a minute. I only just ordered them. Yeah, so I'm gonna carry on. It fits really well. I've just got it's not quite in the centre. It's sort of, I suppose it could be partly my mistake, but the front flex, and it just wants to move a fraction forward when I sort of pop these on. It will hold it into place. It won't be an issue. So I am going to trim the wheel arches as per the actual mouldings. I've trimmed the body shell. It's not fitted in its actual finishing place yet. It's very slightly back. It will sit ever so slightly forward. So probably, I can't hold it exactly there, so not far off there, not far off. Now I'm going to need some trimming to do on the wheel arches still. They're not absolutely finished yet. If anything, I think maybe the wheelbase wants to be a bit longer. Ironically, if I put the bottom wishbones on the other side, it would extend the wheelbase slightly. Whether or not I do that, it's a bit of a faff, if I'm honest. Don't know. I think if I can get away when it's mounted, and I'll trim the arches up a bit more. If I feel that it still needs moving, then I'll move it. I'll bear that in mind when I trim the rear wheel arches, because the front post leans slightly forward as I've sort of bent them with some heat. and that will sit slightly higher. So even there, that looks fine, to be honest. It's just, it wouldn't push forward, but it's got to go up with a bit of a trim. That will probably look okay, if I'm honest with you. Yeah, we'll get away with that, I think. Maybe put a little bit more bend in the front posts underneath. You won't see that obviously from the top. So if the truth be told, they're probably not sort of cut in the right place, but it will do for now. So the other thing to do next, apart from that, I'm going to wait till some body posts. They go on top here and they extend the posts, then I can trim them, then I can fit it. Once I'm happy where it's fitted, then I'll trim the post down, trim the body shell, and then we'll start the painting. So I'm going to order the paint today. So we've got a rear spoiler, which goes on with some circlip, like some P-clips, or whatever they're called, some mirrors. I think the mirrors need to be, I don't know, red maybe, might do them the same colour red, but I need some primer or something to go on that as well. What have we got here? I'm not sure what that is. There's a mounting, some screws that came with it, one of those fittings. Got some wipers, which will go on when it's finished. Pretty sure this anyway, but we've got the exhaust, which I'll figure out where I can put that. Also got some light clusters. These come with the body as well. So from the Sierra Sapphire. So we've got the rear lights here, and the front lights. I'm not actually sure how I'll do this. My feeling would be probably need to cut these out. Would that be the case? You can't have them on. You won't better have them on there because that look ridiculous. So I think, or do they just go on behind, and then you can maybe use these to put lights on the car. So these go on the inside and create like a cavity where you can put the bulbs. I think that's what it is. And these are the lenses, obviously, so you can cut them out. Yeah, I'll probably put them on, I'll be honest. I'll probably stick them on the car because, you know, I'm not planning on putting lights on it, really. But I might. So there's that. Window masks. You don't need to see them. Window masks are window masks. They are what they are. And then we've got the two sets of decals. Flip that around, you can sort of, the shell, so typical colours, nice bold. Quite short red, I don't think that's a red. I'm just looking at it now actually, I think it's, I'll have to sort of look up the colour of the redness. It looks more like a orangey red. It's not, I mean, it's like Ferrari red, isn't it? I suppose that'll work. So yeah, the nice bold colours. I'm gonna get the yellow and a different red. I still might go metallic. Saying that, I've just looked at this and I've just realised something. The picture on the website was of one of these going round a rally stage, which is why I said it was a 4x4 rally car, British rally car, I would think. And then I'll show you this. What does that say there? British Touring Car Championship. Are you sure? What? Which is it then? British Touring Car Championship, the BTCC. It may well be. In that case, that was rear-wheel drive. Well, that's annoying because the picture's definitely a rally stage on the website of this car, the real life car, going round, yeah, on a stage. But these decals are BTCC. And if that's on the car, it won't look bad. It won't really matter. It's just the details. It may, I mean, I don't really want to cut the decals up unless I go and buy some extra decals for rallying. I don't know. Just noticed that. Right, so next time it'll be on the same video, so I'm not gonna send this one out yet. So it will be whenever I get the body post extensions, I'll put those on, fit the body shell properly, trim up what I can, get it to its final place, and then put the window masks on, because by then I should have the paint. I'm going to put the light buckets on behind. I'll see how they fit and see what the best way to do. Probably hot glue, if I'm honest. And then we can go from there. So I'll see you in your time. It would be like now. In my time, it would be days probably when I get the bits ready. So we've done it. So we've got the body posts. I just bought some extensions actually. They sort of came 2 days, so really good from you know, typical eBay. They're just like these tubes, and you trim them. As it happens, I only had to trim the bottom below that bottom hole, trim that off, and where it sits naturally on the posts that comes with the carbon fibre kit. Well, it's fine. I mean, there's a bit of trimming to do. Front wheel arches are okay. I've marked the rear ones where I'm going to trim. Yes, I know it's got a bit of a bigger gap there. To be honest with you, I'm not particularly, I wouldn't say mounting bodies and drilling the holes isn't my forte. I tend to always get it wrong. So, but what I have done, I'm going to move the camera. So I literally bent the posts because I didn't want to drill some more holes in the body shell, so you won't see them obviously when it's painted and just poking out the top. You won't see that. So they're at an angle, and the back ones, if I put them that way, maybe it's where I haven't drilled it quite central, but they do pivot on the mount anyway, and they're done quite tight, or that would move in the event of if it, you know, crashed or something. So it's probably a good and bad thing. And like I say, I've just got to trim the wheel arch. I'm not going to film that. There's no point, obviously. But the fronts fit okay. They're quite lined up with the sort of original wheel arch. I've got to just tidy up the wheel arches a little bit, either with sandpaper on a can or something, or I'll use my Dremel thing. So the next thing is, what's next? Because this will be part one of the video, what I'm going to finish now. Got to sort out the light cups. Either that, or I've got to mask the rear lights, or I don't do any of that. I'll just paint them and put the stickers over. The only thing is, I must admit, I'm not 100% keen on the stickers that go over the lights. They look a bit naff. But if I completely fuck up I shouldn't have swore that. It doesn't matter. If I completely balls up the light, there's no point saying a swear word that isn't a swear word. I've just said it now. I could edit it out if I can be bothered. Yeah. So, what was I saying? I can't remember. Something to the lights. The light buckets I've got to try and cut and put in, stick them in, and then technically you should mask them off anyway, because you don't want the paint going on them. You should keep them clear. I could paint the lights translucent, like red, and I don't know what I'm going to do at the fronts. I don't know. Leave them, I guess. Put some indicators on there, translucent. That hasn't worked in the past. I don't know, I'll sort that out. The problem is that this chassis tows in at the back because of the new wishbones at the back. It sort of naturally tows in. Unless I swap, like I think I said, if I swap the wishbones around, but it'll tow out, that'll be complete. I think I said that, and I've just thought about it, it's completely wrong. Anyway, I'm talking shite. Now, the paint I'm going to put on, I've got various other paints as well, but I've settled with, I can't remember what it is, but it's like a brighter red. It's going to be very difficult to pick up on the camera. There's a crap light, fake light thing in the house. So it's not quite a dark red, it's not quite shell red, it's a bit more of a brighter red. And I've got the traditional Tamiya yellow, which is traditional yellow, whatever the PS is, I don't know. So that's, I've only got a can of each, but the yellow only goes to, I think it's sort of like, not sure if it's bumper level or slightly higher. I have to look at some pictures. So I'm going to mask that off. It must be below the lights, I would think. So it's got to be below the light, and maybe it's got to be a line around it, which, I mean, there is a line, a door line here, so it might be something to do with that. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is mask the yellow off and do the red. It's a darker colour, and then spray the yellow. It won't matter of any overlap, and then I'll back it in another colour, probably a nice light colour. White probably is my obvious choice, and once it's backed in white, I'll probably back it in black just to keep it uniform, and then I'll smoke the windows. Quite a dark colour, because I'm not putting a driver figure in there. I mean, this is no point. It would probably look better, but just a little bit beyond my capabilities, if I'm honest with you, and probably a little bit beyond my grade, my pay grade. No, that's wrong. What do I? Fuck off. Just skills. I'm just not skilled enough. Tell it how it is. Fucking. Anyway, I'm going to finish this now because I'm talking just for the sake of it. So that's where we're at. We're going to do the paint in the next one, part 2. So next time you see this, it will probably be the process of the body will be trimmed, it will be masked, the light buckets may be in, depends how difficult they are to cut out. Window masks in, the mask for the yellow, and ready to paint that red. And that will be part 2. I think part 2 will probably be the whole body shell preparation paint wise, and then it will be the detailing, which would include things like the wing, wipers, decals, and any other body lines I need to put on it, lights, and what I do with that. So it'll be a 3-part video with whether I get to run it, that I don't know. That'll be another separate video on its own. So anyway, that's it. Looks alright. I quite like it. I'm a bit partial to a saloon shell, especially the Sapphire Sierra. I think it looks pretty cool. It'll look quite nice when it's done. I'm not keen on these wheels. These are just generic like foam wheels, but they are what they are. Yeah, I know L&L models do. In fact, I've got a set of like normal wheels which rubber tires would go on, but I think the main reason putting the foams on is so they don't distort, makes it a bit easier to handle apparently. And then yeah, there's a couple of other videos I want to do with this chassis before it gets used, but we'll come to that in due course. So what's the next bit? What should I say to end the video? Without further ado, I appreciate you watching. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.